Now the second thing I wanted to tell you about is the thing called consequences. And we talked about this before. This is one of the most important words I learned in my study of time management, is that something is valuable to the degree to which it has serious potential consequences. Something is unimportant to the degree to which it has low or no potential consequences. So one of the thinking tools that you have to have is look at everything that you do and ask yourself, does this have big potential consequences or not? And you'll find that most people spend most of the time working on things that have low or no consequences. At Harvard University, there was a great professor. He's dead now, but I began to study him in the 60s. And his name was Dr. Edward Banfield. And Banfield did 50 years of research into how it is that some people move up. In the course of their working lifetime, they move up, and they move up financially, and they eventually earn a lot of money. And the great majority of people don't. They just very seldom improve themselves. Well, what he found was that the thinking characteristic of these people was long-time perspective. They were long-term thinkers. They were thinking today of the consequences of their behaviors in terms of where they wanted to be in the future. For example, your coming to this meeting means that you are a long-term thinker. You are willing to invest time and energy to learn things that can help you in the years ahead. So you'll find that top people are long-term thinkers. They're always thinking, how can I learn and do things today that will have big consequences in the future? Average people are short-term thinkers. They only think about entertainment today, having fun today, enjoyment today, going home and watching television today. So you are the long-term thinkers. You are the ones who are willing to do the work and make the sacrifices today in order to have a much better life for yourself and your family in the future, which means that you're in sort of the elite, what we call the top 10% of our society, is because you think long-term. One of the keys to time management is to do things that have long-term ramifications. Learning a new skill, even though it's very difficult at the beginning, can give you something you can use all your life. You can use it and get better and better all your life, and it compounds in its value. It becomes more and more valuable over time. One of the things that is always very scary for entrepreneurs is selling, because in selling you are risking rejection and failure. So we do a lot of little tricks to avoid selling. One of the tricks is we don't call on customers because they might say no. And the way that we do that is we follow the path of least resistance, and we play with our computer and we talk to our friends and we drink coffee and we kill the day, and then it's too late tomorrow. But tomorrow, yes, tomorrow I'm going to call on that customer. And then tomorrow comes and we check our email in the morning and talk to our friends and have some more coffee, and then we do a lot of little, what I call busy work, like bees, bzz, little busy work that has no value. It has no consequences. Calling on one customer and making one sale that can open a door for you has enormous consequences. In the course of my lifetime, I have made maybe 2 or 3 contacts that led to sales that led to business that went on for 20 years and that were worth a lot of money. But it was making the first contact. I remember I had an audio program and I had produced it when I was giving seminars, and my wife said I should send this audio program to the biggest producers of audio programs in the world, Nightingale Conant Corporation of Chicago. And I said, no, I said, that's the giant. Everybody looks up to them. They're like a major movie studio in Hollywood. And she said, no, you should send your program to them. I said, no, you should send your... So finally, I picked up the phone and I phoned them and I said, I have this very successful audio program, and you might be interested in looking at it. Who would I talk to? And they said, the secretary said, well, I'll put you right through to the person in charge of new programs. So they put me straight through, and I said, I have this new program. And he said, well, send it to us and we will listen to it and tell you if we think it has any value. This whole conversation has taken about 2 or 3 minutes so far. And I had put it off for months and months because of my fear of rejection and my fear of failure. And so I said it. 3 days later, I called them back and I said, did you get the program? And they said, yeah, we got the program. We like it. We want to record it and release it worldwide. Worldwide. When can you come to Chicago to discuss the contract? I said, tomorrow? It was 3,000 kilometers away. I mean, it was a long way. It was like going from here to Rome, and it was a long way to go. But I was on the plane the next morning. And I went down there, and they said, this is an unusual program. We've never heard it before. We like it. We'll record it. It became the best-selling audio program on success in the world. It's in 28 languages today, worldwide. And it worked out well financially. So consequences are important. Now, the difference between top people and average people is top people do things that have big potential consequences. And in our business, the two things that have consequences are creating value and generating sales. Creating value and generating sales. In fact, the other principle that we talked about before is what I call the law of three. Now, the law of three will double and triple your income, but eventually make you wealthy. It's one of the most important laws I ever learned. And the law of three says that there are 3 things that you do in the course of your day that generate 90% of your value. 90%. If you make a list of everything that you do in the course of a week or a month, it'll work out as an entrepreneur, because I've worked with entrepreneurs for a decade, and I've worked with thousands of entrepreneurs in 1 and 2 and 3 year personal coaching programs. There'll be about 20 or 30 things that you do. Of those 20 or 30 things, there will be 3 things that you do that account for 90% of your value. 90% of the results that you get will be 3 things. And all the rest will be in the other 10%. So if you want to dramatically increase your effectiveness, your results, your income, you have to identify what I call the big 3.